Here's an idea to mull over. 2 of the 4 Beatles are left-handed.
Right. And there's a theory, isn't there, that left-handed people tend to be especially creative.
So true. And take me, for example. I'm a natural lefty. But when I was a child, I was strongly encouraged to use my right hand for writing and drawing, even though it wasn't natural for me.
And how did that affect you, Steve?
Well, as a result, I write with my right hand. I use a computer mouse with my left hand. And I play guitar right-handed. But with everything else, like tennis, throwing a ball, kicking a ball, I do it left-handed, or with my left foot when required.
And there's the theory that highly creative people in music and so many other different fields, those people are naturally lefties, right?
You're so right, Cass. I don't know whether I personally qualify as a creative genius, but most people think I'm more creative than the average bear. Even my mom admits that. What about you, Cass?
Well, I'm right-handed. Never any conflict about that.
Well, don't sell yourself short, Cass. Even though you're right-handed, you're pretty creative.
Yeah.
In your own special way.
Thanks, Steve. That means a lot, coming from a brainiac like you.
Okay, let's unpack this for a minute.
Please.
Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, both left-handed. That's 50% of the Beatles.
I mean, that's just a staggering fact. Half of the creative core of, the most important band in history.
So the question we're asking today is this just some huge coincidence? Or is there something more to it? A kind of Southpaw secret that unlocks a certain genius?
Well, yeah, and what's so fascinating here is this idea of divergent thinking. It's strongly linked with left-handed people.
Divergent thinking.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not just about being left-handed. It's about having to constantly adapt to a world that is, fundamentally built for the other 90%.
A right-handed world.
Exactly. And that constant need to find a different way, an unconventional solution. We think that's what defined both Paul's playing and Ringo's drumming.
So their iconic styles,
Yeah.
they came from having to adapt.
That's the theory. And that's what we're going to explore today.
Okay, so to really get this, you have to picture the time period. We're talking about the late 50s, early 60s in Liverpool. Today, being left-handed. It's just a detail, right? It affects about 10% of the world's population. No big deal.
But not then. Back then it was. It was seen as a flaw, something to be fixed.
The word sinister even comes from the Latin for left side.
Right. And that negative idea was really powerful in post-war Britain. Educators, even pediatricians, saw it as a bad habit that needed to be broken.
And the methods they used were, frankly, they were often brutal.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking about doctors and teachers telling parents to force their kids to switch hands, especially for writing. This was institutional pressure.
And it wasn't gentle encouragement either. The accounts from that time describe some pretty severe interventions. Well, like tying a child's left hand behind their back so they had to use their right, or even using corporal punishment.
Wow.
Yeah. So just imagine the psychological friction of being told every day that your natural way of being is wrong, especially for a creative kid like a Paul McCartney or a Ringo Starr.
So the fact that they became who they became, it's almost an act of defiance.
It is. They're part of this generation that just refused to be corrected. And that refusal, that fiction, it might be the very thing that sharpened their creative edge.
Okay, so let's start with Paul. He's the one who decided to change the instrument, not himself.
Right.
And this is where it gets really interesting. When he first tried guitar, it was just a standard right-handed one. And he was just completely frustrated. He said he felt clumsy, like he had no talent.
Which perfectly shows you how the standard world is just hostile to a southpaw. The tool itself was the problem.
Oh, so?
Well, on a standard guitar, your fretting hand, the one doing all the complex work on the neck, making chords, is your non-dominant hand. For a righty, that's your left hand. For a natural lefty like Paul, it felt completely backwards. His dominant hand was just strumming, and his clumsy hand was supposed to do all the hard stuff.
But then he has this breakthrough moment, a mirror image breakthrough.
Yes, the Slim Whitman photo.
He sees a picture of this American country star, and Whitman's playing a guitar that's flipped upside down and restrung.
It was like a bolt of lightning for him. He realized, I'm not bad at this. The tool is just wrong for me.
So what did he do? Mechanically, what did that flip achieve?
Well, he restrung his guitar so the string order was correct, thickest on top, thinnest on the bottom, but now his dominant left hand was doing the fretting.
All the complex work.
All the complex work. Suddenly, his most capable hand was in charge of the most demanding job. and his right hand just had to handle the rhythm.
And that's what defined his melodic approach, especially on the bass.
Exactly. When he got pushed into playing bass for the band in '61.
Right, he was involuntarily drafted.
He was. And because his dominant hand was on the fretboard, his bass lines weren't just thumping along on the root note. He could play these complex, singable counter melodies.
The bass became its own voice in the song.
A second vocal, almost. You can hear it so clearly. Just listen to the bass on Something.
Or Taxman, that driving run.
It's incredible. Those aren't rhythm lines. That's a lead instrument, and it requires the full dexterity of a dominant hand.
This adaptation also led him to that famous Hofner 5001, the violin bass.
Right, because when he was looking for a bass he could flip, he needed one that wouldn't look, well, daft, as he put it.
Unbalanced.
Exactly. And the Hofner, with its perfectly symmetrical violin shape, it looked right either way up.
But there was also a practical side to it, right?
Oh, a huge one. This was Hamburg, 1961. They didn't have a lot of money. He got that Hofner for about 30 pounds.
And a Fender bass back then would have been?
Around 100 pounds. I mean, it's an enormous difference. So necessity and finances pushed him to this one specific instrument.
And one of the most iconic pairings in music history was born.
He literally forced the instrument to conform to his genius.
Okay, now let's pivot to Ringo Starr. Because he did the complete opposite.
Right. Paul adapted the instrument.
Ringo adapted himself.
Yeah.
He's a natural lefty, but he played a standard right-handed drum kit just as it was.
And this is the source of his genius. It's the key to that unique, inimitable Ringo sound.
Explain that. What does that mean, playing a right-handed kit as a lefty?
It creates this profound physical glitch in his technique, something a conventionally trained drummer would never do.
A glitch.
Yeah. Think about it. A right-handed drummer naturally leads with their dominant right hand for fills, for rolls across the toms.
Okay.
But for Ringo, his dominant hand, his left, is often in the wrong position for a smooth, traditional roll across the kit.
He's starting from the wrong side.
He's starting from the wrong side. So he had to develop these unconventional ways to get around the drums. He even said it himself. He can't do a standard roll because he starts with the wrong hand.
So he has to. It was about skip a beat or jump a drum.
That's it. And that skip, that jump, that tiny little stumble in his rhythm, that is the heartbeat of the Beatles.
That's the sound everyone tries to copy.
It's the sound of his adaptation. You can hear it everywhere once you know what to listen for. The intro fill on Ticket to Ride.
Oh, yeah.
That little hesitation, it's because he's fighting the physical layout of the kit. A righty would play it completely differently.
And on the later stuff, like Sgt. Pepper.
It becomes fundamental. The drumming is so powerful, so off-kilter. The massive fills in a day in the life.
They sound almost chaotic.
They do, because he's wrestling with the configuration. He turned an inconvenience into his core style.
So the Southpaw secret is definitely real for the Beatles. But it goes way beyond them, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. This confirms the whole idea. I mean, look at Jimi Hendrix.
The ultimate example.
A perfect mirror of Paul. Takes a right-handed Stratocaster, flips it, restrings it, and completely revolutionizes the guitar. His whole technique is based on having his dominant left hand on the fretboard.
And then you have Kurt Cobain with that raw, powerful, left-handed strumming.
Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath. The man literally invented heavy metal playing lefty. After losing the fingertips on his fretting hand, he had to adapt again.
It's a pattern of constraint leading to creativity.
And it's not just guitarists. Think of a drummer like Phil Collins, a natural lefty, but he took the opposite path from Ringo. He customized his whole kit to be left-hand dominant.
And this thread runs right into modern music.
For sure. You have someone like Lady Gaga, who is naturally left-handed. She writes with her left hand, holds the mic with her left hand. It's part of her core identity, even if she plays some instruments right-handed.
Or Justin Bieber. He's a pure lefty. He learned piano, drums, trumpet, all left-handed.
But guitar was a struggle.
A huge struggle. Until he got a proper left-handed model, then it all clicked.
Then there's this other really interesting group, the adapted lefties.
So these are people who are naturally left-handed, but learn to play entirely right-handed.
Exactly. Which is a whole other level of adaptation. You've got David Bowie.
The ultimate chameleon.
Right. A natural lefty who played right-handed. Noel Gallagher from Oasis.
Wrote all those massive hits right-handed.
Despite being a lefty, Miley Cyrus, too, apparently her dad, Billy Ray, had her retrained because he thought it would be easier for her.
So what's happening in the brain with all this? There must be a neurological component.
Yeah, they call it the crossover brain phenomenon. The idea is that this constant need to operate ambidextrously or to just work around a world that isn't set up for you, it fosters stronger connections between the brain's hemispheres.
It forces you to find another route.
It forces divergent thinking. And that's why this isn't just about music.
Right. You see it in so many other fields.
You too. Think about the great southpaws in history. Leonardo da Vinci.
With his famous mirror script.
Which he probably did to avoid smudging the ink. Another adaptation. Then you have Albert Einstein, Bill Gates, and a crazy number of U.S. presidents, Barack Obama.
So the real takeaway for you listening to this isn't just that being left-handed makes you creative.
No, not at all. The genius comes from the necessity of adapting. That process forces your mind to find new, unconventional solutions. Paul flipping his bass, Ringo stumbling his rhythm. The adaptation is the secret.
Which brings us to a final provocative thought for you to chew on.
Okay.
Consider this. What if, back in 1961, Paul McCartney had been given a perfect, affordable, purpose-built left-handed bass? No need to flip anything, no need to find a symmetrical body.
If the path had been easy.
Exactly. If the path had been easy, would his revolutionary melodic bass playing style ever have developed?
Wow, we might have missed out on that entire sound just because there's no friction. It's a powerful idea, the creative power that comes from constraint.
Well, thanks for joining us today. Whenever you feel like knowing more about the Beatles, visit us at BeatlesRewind.com. Every day, we do something new there. Song reviews, album reviews, movie reviews, book reviews, documentaries, trivia, all things Beatles, every day, 8 days a week. You can find us on the website, BeatlesRewind.com. You can subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Podcasts, practically anywhere on the inner tubes. The Beatles, all day, every day. Cass, we'll do it again tomorrow.
We will. Farewell.
Until next time, when you listen.
Your mind conducts its own symphony.